Hey guys, Pat Ryerkey here, also known as the Patriarchy, kicking social justice ass well into the air. So MTV, the great channel that used to show music videos and be a proponent, I guess, kind of like the spokesperson for a counterculture. And then they created a lot of reality shows like The Real World and all that. And then they created original shows like, and they had stuff like Beavis and Butthead on there for years. Now, I don't even know what's on MTV anymore. I haven't watched MTV in years. I know about their videos on YouTube, like the Lacey Green videos. So, anyway, the MTV Movie Awards and TV Awards and stuff. And this is an award show that they started back in the 90s as kind of a gimmick thing. Like, they'd have categories like Best Kiss and stuff like that. Now, I enjoyed the MTV Movie Awards for many years. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was an award show that didn't take itself too seriously, and even though Twilight won Best Picture over and over and over again, there was something funny about that, I guess. Anyway, here's MTV's new attempt at virtue signaling, because they've changed the rules now on the way that they identify actors in the acting category. MTV is going gender neutral with its movies and TV awards. MTV will do away with its male and female movie and TV awards, instead, introducing gender neutral prize categories, the network announced Friday. The audience actually doesn't see male female dividing lines, so we said, let's just take that down, explained the network's president Chris McCarthy in an interview with Vulture. This audience actually doesn't see male. You mean that very, very small audience who still watches MTV? Like that very, very small audience? Yeah, you're probably right. They probably are all SJWs and don't see. Now, here's the thing before I go into this article more. There's always been the argument about destroying the male female category in acting because there's a there's a really good argument to be made that when you say this is the best male actor of the year and best female actor of the year, you're not really saying best performance of the year. You're separating them, and they are different. You're saying this was the best of the women, this was the best of the men. Now, it would simplify a lot of shows. Imagine if the Academy Awards just had five best actors and women and men had to get in there together. And then but here's why I think they do the multiple thing. It's because if they did a smaller category with just men and women, let's say one year only men get nominated or only one woman gets nominated, that would raise so much controversy, it wouldn't be worth it. So you can't have that more balanced look like, hey, this is the best thing. I think you should have more categories, honestly. Like the Academy Awards, if they're not going to nominate comedy films, then maybe they should have a section for that, or voice acting, or something like that, because they're never going to nominate a voice acting performance. So there's all sorts of variables like that. And I can get where MTV's coming from in that regard. We should look at the performance. But this is the MTV Movie Awards. You gave Twilight Best Picture over and over and over again. So I don't think they're doing this for any other reason but trying to get good press. Like, we're taking away gender in this. Anyone can get nominated. And I feel this way because they added more stuff besides that. It's not just the gender neutral thing. If that was just one thing, they said, fuck it, we're just going to nominate everyone together. That actually makes sense. I actually think that's a pretty cool idea. But there's more to it. MTV's target audience is under 25, a demographic that increasingly skeptical of traditional notions about gender. Recent surveys show a rising number of LGBT millennials, though estimates vary widely. Yeah, that's my issue is when they keep saying more and more. They're like, no, now 1 in 4 millennials are gay, or something like that, or trans. It's like, I really don't believe those numbers that there's just a insanely higher amount of gay people and trans people now than there was before. Just magically millennials are gay. I think they're identifying that when they're asked. I don't think that means they're all sucking dick. Now, Daniel Kaluuya, Emma Watson, Haley Steinfeld, Hugh Jackman, James McAvoy, and Taraji P. Henson will compete for Best Actor in a Movie. The Best Actor in a Show category includes Donald Glover, Emil Clark, Gina Rodriguez, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Mandy Moore, and Billy Bob Brown. In a further attempt to accommodate a generation preoccupied with social justice, the network also introduced a Best Fight Against the System award category. This is what I'm talking about, the Best Fight Against the System, which will replace the Best Fight category, which was a cool category, Best Fight Scene, MTV has had for the past 20 years. Up for consideration, Get Out, Hidden Figures, Loving, Luke Cage, and Mr. Robot. Yeah, those are all fighting against the system shows, yep. in movies. Yeah, they really beat the system. Man, Loving with that box office total of like 4 million. And Mr. Robot, yeah, just being pretty much a show that's. I mean, I love Mr. Robot, but it's not the first fucking hacker anti-system thing. If you never read a book about that shit, Luke Cage is good for the first half of the season. It goes to crap. Get Out's funny. People are giving it way too much credit for calling out like racial bias, though. Jesus Christ. And Hidden Figures, typical Oscar bait. It's like The Help that came out a few years ago. Did that film defeat the system? No. Young people are rising and forcing change. No, they're not. And we're seeing a voice of activism that's just so different and so refreshing. Different and refreshing? I mean, it is different. It's certainly not refreshing. The network's top exec explained, "We wanted to support that, and so the idea of a best actual fight was almost an antiquated idea. We thought it was much more celebratory to honor stories and characters that have fought against the system that they thought was oppressing them." Yeah, yeah, totally. MTV's announcement came as award shows are under increasing scrutiny. Earlier this week, Showtime said Asia Kate Dillon, who identifies as gender non-binary, oh my god, could choose which Emmy category was most appropriate. Wait, so she can put herself in the male category now? The Billion Star chose opted to compete as an actor, saying it was historically a non-gendered word that applied to all people regardless of anatomical sex or gender identity. A new Harris Poll survey released last week on behalf of the activist organization GLAAD suggested that 1 in 5 millennials are LGBTQ. I wonder if there's any skewed numbers in that survey by GLAAD. Gender played a big role in the Harris Poll report's findings, with 12% of millennials saying they were either transgender or non-gender conforming. Gender nonconforming, which means nothing. That's an absolutely nothing term. The survey's estimate for LGBTQ people under 35 was nearly 3 times higher than what Gallup reported in January. So no one's going to basically watch this award show. I doubt the ratings are going to be very good. I would be shocked if the ratings were higher than like 5 million, maybe at that. It's probably not going to have a bunch of clips on the internet. Hopefully the speeches and all that aren't virtue signaling, because it's one thing for the political shit at the Golden Globes and the Emmys or at the Grammys or whatnot and the Oscars. To have it at the MTV Movie Awards, like Emma Watson might come up and give a speech. Oh, the cringe. Oh my god. There's not a worse group of people to talk about this shit than MTV. They're moronic. I mean, all their MTV News stuff's terrible. All their shows are terrible. They haven't had good content in years. They're losing relevancy at a rapid pace. MTV's completely becoming irrelevant, and this is just to try to get some kind of press from that Emmy story. It's almost like the Emmys thing happened, and they're like, "Damn, we have to jump on that bandwagon." Fuck. The fight against the system award's really funny. I love that. Like, I'm sure they're probably gonna give that to either Get Out or Hidden Figures, but that's pretty hilarious. Also, didn't Get Out come out like this year? So why the fuck is it getting nominated for stuff from last year with stuff from last year too? That's a little weird. But yeah, they beat the system. Trump's no longer president because of Hidden Figures. Oh wait, damn, he is. Man, MTV used to really. You felt like the people that worked behind it at least stood for something when it came to quality. They wanted to do something that wasn't the norm on television or what you would find in the mainstream. They were at least trying to create something that was different. Even shows I don't love, like Jackass, was something different. They always attempted new things, like Fox back in the day. But like a lot of corporations, they become safe and boring as time goes on. And I don't even watch the MTV Award, and I certainly don't watch the MTV Movie or TV Awards, and I haven't for a long time now. And it's sad because I do think it could be fun and entertaining and a good night of television watching everyone get together. But even now that they have other priorities and they're never going to really care about entertaining people, the entertainment factor. Why don't you add something that would actually be more fun to the show? Who gives a fuck? The awards are arbitrary at the MTV Movie Awards. It does not matter if you win an MTV Movie Award. So why not change the production of the show up a bit and make it a little bit more entertaining? That's my suggestion. It's like the Academy Awards. They always try to find ways to change how they give out awards instead of changing the format of the show to make it more fun to watch because they're boring. It's like going to church. Stop it. Make it like a black church. Make it fun. Have some singing and dancing and everyone clapping their hands and stuff. I'm all for that shit. Or one of those like Pentecostal churches where the people dance and go crazy and shit and talk with their tongues. I'd love that. Anyway, it's the patriarchy. Like, comment, and subscribe. Do you like MTV? What was your favorite MTV show of all time from back in the day? I remember Remote Control. That was fun. And Yeah, just give me your opinion on this. And are you gonna watch the MTV Movie Awards? I'd be surprised if any of you are, but let me know if you will. And I thank everyone out there for watching. I hope you had a good weekend. And until next time, go fuck yourselves.